Just leaving Broken Fiddle in Damascus. It's a hostel that I stayed at. It was good. Got to have a breakfast and a dinner yesterday. And just hang out with a bunch of people that were there and just BS, talk about some stuff. And got my package at the post office this morning and I'm all ready to go. My pack is nice and heavy with 7 days worth of food to get me to Bland. I'm on my way out of town. So these mountains down here on this side of town are the ones I came out of yesterday when I got into town. I just came out way down on that end. And then just came up through town, through the park, down the street here to Broken Fiddle, and now I'm going back to those same mountains, just a little further north. So I'll get down here and take a left and head out of town. So Damascus is not only a Appalachian Trail town, but part of the reason it's so well known is because it's got 7 trails that come through the town. And I can't even begin to tell you all of them, but I know the Appalachian Trail is one and the Creeper Trail is another. And there's actually like a Trans-America Trail, which is a bike trail. So there were a couple of bikers that stayed at the hostel last night, and they are bicycling. I can't even remember where they started, maybe somewhere, I don't know, somewhere further east in Virginia maybe, and then they're going all the way to Oregon or something like that. So anyway, that's a kind of a pretty interesting deal. And yeah, there's just several things like that. So, nice people. Ladies waiting for me and waving. And so last night for dinner, came down here to a place called 7 Trails Grill. They had some live music and stuff, but that's what 7 Trails is about. I think you can maybe see it right there. It's you know, for the 7 trails that run through town. So, all right. And now I'm on the AT, kind of. Sort of a sidewalk through town, but this is actually the AT and the Creeper Trail. For a while, I guess there's a mile and a half or something, where both trails are the same. But anyway, I'll just head a little ways out here and I'll start heading up in the mountains. I'm getting a bit of a late start today because of, you know, having to pick up package and everything. So it's getting close to 10 o'clock and I'm just leaving, and I've got to make it 16 miles to a shelter. First of all, because I need to do 16 and a half miles every day to make it to Bland. Time to get shuttled over. I'll talk more about that later this week. And also because so after my bear canister got destroyed, I went into an outfitter yesterday and got a bear bag, and I'll be hanging a bear bag. Sure. And so there's a lot of bear activity all through this next stretch for, you know, however far it is, 100 miles or something. There's quite a stretch where there's a lot of bear activity, and so they have installed bear boxes at all of the shelters, like the next 5 or 6 shelters, something like that. And so that'll give you a secure way to keep your food, so I won't actually have to hang anything, even though I've got all the gear to do it now. I'll be putting it in those boxes. And so, you know, I don't want to only go 15 miles and stay out in the middle of nowhere and lose my food again. So I'm going 16 and a half miles today, whether I like it or not. And I'm starting late, so I'll probably get in late. So I'm thinking I better shut up and start moving. very cool. When I was first entering onto the trail here, you know, whatever, 20, 30 minutes ago, there were 3 guys standing on the steps, just kind of leading up. You know, a lot of times there are steps leading right onto the trail into the forest. And there were some women out there, you know, moms and wives and stuff, I assume, that taking pictures of the 3 guys. Looked to be possibly 3 generations of family, you know, grandfather, father, son. And anyway, they're just out for 3 days. Gonna do a 30-mile section here. And from California, and haven't been out here hiking before, so that's pretty cool. And you know, you never know whether you're telling people stuff they already know, and you don't want to sound condescending, but I said to them, hey, just in case you don't know, a lot of bear activity in this area, and you know, you should plan on hiking and staying at the shelters so that you can use the bear boxes. And they did not know that, so they were appreciative of that information, as I would have been if someone would have given me a little more information a few days ago about what I was getting myself into. But anyway, so yeah, I don't think I'll see them again. You know, they're moving a little slow, and they're going to stop at the first shelter that we see today, and I'm going to move on to the second one. So, but wish those guys luck, and how fun that they're all 3 out doing that. You know, what a neat experience for them. All right, we've gone 3 miles. Only 13 and a half more to go. Hey, whew, some downhill. Love the sound of the running water. It's hypnotic. Well, this is what I was talking about earlier, and this is really awesome. It'd just be really nice if they would extend this back, you know, the previous 20 miles where they also have a huge problem. And but yeah, anyway, these are all the places where there are bear boxes installed, and that's where I'll be keeping my food. So I'll be going to Lost Mountain Shelter tonight, and then I think Wise Shelter, and then I don't know, I can't do the math that quickly right now, but I can't remember. Maybe going all the way to Trimpey that last day, or maybe just going to Hurricane Mountain. Anyway, whatever, I'll have a place to put my food. Oh, what a bridge. Well, this is the absolute first sign of any trail magic that I've seen since I started in Fontana 3 weeks ago. It's like somebody just left, you know, whatever, some stuff, some bars, or who even knows what in there, and just told everybody, hey, you know, help yourself, and then they'll come back and get their trash out. So that's one kind of trail magic, and that's pretty awesome. It's all gone right now, so I cannot partake in that, but that's okay because I just started my day a couple hours ago and I'm really doing fine. So, but that's great. It's hey, that's something, man. This year, anything is something. Alright, that's been quite a climb. I was looking forward to taking a little short break at Saunders Shelter, but I didn't realize it was a quarter mile off the trail, so I am not going to walk an extra quarter mile. So I've got about another 6 miles to my final destination today. And it's only 1:20, so that's not too bad. I've done the steepest climb. There's still some pretty steep climb later, but I've done the steepest, longest for the day, so. Well, I am sorry I cut that last video short. I was walking and talking, and then all of a sudden I realized there was a woman sitting up ahead who I was unknowingly videoing, you know, as I was walking along. And obviously I hadn't asked her if I could video her, so I just shut the video camera off. But anyway, it ended up being Sunflower, who I can't remember if I've mentioned yet or not, but she's a young woman that is going to school not too far from here. She's just out hiking a big section, and she is the only person that I have run across multiple times here. She's the only one that's hiking north, that's hiking about the same speed I am. There have been very few people that I've seen, period, but there have been some, you know. I think I mentioned the group of 3 women yesterday that fed me after my bear canister incident, and you know, just a couple of people like that, but not many. And anyway, so it was good to see her, and we just talked for a few minutes. And she's only going to be hiking another day or two, and then she's going to get off the trail. But anyway, it really is a nice thing to have a little bit of camaraderie out here, you know, even though at least for myself, I tend to not, you know, kind of stick with people and hike with them and stuff. But it's nice to cross paths and just say, hi, how you doing? And you know, you at least recognize the person. So anyway, I don't even know what I was saying in that last video, but I've got about a little less than 6 miles to the shelter, and shouldn't have much problem making that in good time. I think maybe I was saying that I'd done the hardest part of the hike already today. Still got little climbing here and there, and there'll be a kind of sustained climb at the end, but I'm definitely on the home stretch, so it's really cooling off too, a lot. Probably some of it is I was just sitting and not doing anything for a few minutes, but the wind's picked up, and I know a couple days ago there were chances of thunderstorms tonight as well, so I don't really know. It certainly doesn't look that way, but things can change fast. So I'm just gonna move it along. Well, my gosh, like about 30 seconds after I shut the camera off, I come around the corner and here's somebody coming at me that I recognize, and you know, we haven't even introduced ourselves. I don't even know what their names are, but these are the 3 women that I've mentioned already a couple of times, and the ones that gave me a couple of things to eat after my bear canister incident, and the ones I think I said I saw in, anyway, I saw them once in Damascus when they were walking to breakfast or something, yesterday or this morning. I can't remember. Anyway, so here they come at me, of course going the wrong way for what I would expect. I thought that they were behind me this morning and I'd never see them again. But so they're doing what people often do around these little towns, is they are slack packing. And as a result, sometimes they'll even go backwards. So, like for instance, what they did, so they stayed in Damascus last night just like I did. This morning, I just walked out of town and I'm walking north, and I'm just going to keep walking north. And that's what most people would do. But what some of these hostels and just different services in town offer is slack packing. And they will, so how do I explain this? So what they do is these women don't have to carry a full pack because they're going to stay in Damascus again tonight. So what the service did was drive them down the trail, however far they wanted, 10 miles, 20 miles, whatever. Drop them off with just a light pack, just enough food to kind of get them through the day. No tent, no extra clothes, no, whatever. And so they have a really light pack, and they just hike backwards, and they're hiking back to Damascus. And they'll just hike right into town and stay at probably the same hostel they stayed at last night. And so it's kind of cool. And in fact, when you're hiking, your hiking takes you all day long. Hike 20 miles. It seems like 20 miles so far. Well, in the car, you get 20 miles in no time at all. So they may even slack pack again tomorrow and have this guy drop them, even further down the trail and just hike back and pick them up or something. So anyway, that's what they did. And they were really rubbing it in that they were able to move so fast they can almost jog. So, all right, where are we at here? I don't know. That doesn't tell me much, but anyway, I'm still going this way. So, anyway, it was good to see him again. Probably that's the last time I'll ever see him, but you say that out here, and then all of a sudden you run across somebody and you didn't expect it, and so I don't know. I have no idea what will happen. Boy, it really has gotten substantially colder since I stopped and talked to the various people I mentioned just a bit ago. I got started here, and it was all downhill, and I was trying to go as fast as I could just to work up some body heat, just to get myself warmed, and man, I couldn't do it. And then big, so I guess a decent uphill section came, and I just powered through that as hard as I could. I'm exhausted. My legs are killing me from it, but it didn't really help. I really didn't even break a sweat. So it just wasn't quite long enough, I guess. It warmed me up a little, but it's still chilly. So I'm trying to just move as fast as I can. Just keep going. Because I don't want to have to stop and take my pack off and put a longer shirt on. And then, sure enough, 5 minutes after that, I'll be sweating and I'll be hot and I'll have to stop and take it off. So just trying to move as quick as I can and just keep going and going and get my body temperature up so that I don't have to stop. Okay, got the body temperature up. Whew. Now we should cool off out here. So I just came out of the woods onto this little kind of path, and apparently there's lots of people biking out here, but this is the Virginia Creeper Trail, so I connected again with it, I guess. Went through the mountains on the Appalachian Trail and then came back to the Virginia Creeper Trail. So now I'll go up here a short ways and it'll split off again. And then I'll probably head off in the woods on the AT. How are you guys?
Good, how about you?
Great. Hi there.
Hi.
That's pretty cool. I don't know that I've seen that anywhere before. Must be something going on out here, you know, like people have little cabins or something. There's a river down there. Nice little deck somebody's got built. Be an amazing area to come have a little vacation. I think there's another deck up here. I don't know if there's a deck or if people come out and fish. You know, whatever it's all about. But magnificent out here. Sorry for the view of my chin. It's a really amazingly long bridge for wood. I don't know what to call this last stretch, but it is the land of duplicating streams. I don't know. The little guide I have said, you know, there'd be a stream, you know, 2 miles back and one in a mile and one more before you start climbing. And man, I've seen 20 streams. They're everywhere. And I'm climbing, I'm halfway up the mountain. Definitely didn't expect to see any streams, so I saw one. I laughed like, wow, that would have been nice to wait until there to get water so I didn't have to haul water up the mountain. And then I keep going, there's another one. And then another one. Ah. Must be a good year for streams, for rain, for rainfall in this area, because nothing is dry. Oh yeah, I'm here. Lost Mountain Shelter. And that's a great site. Bear vault. Yeah. Right on. That'll make me sleep a little better. Lost Mountain Shelter. Hey, this one even has a privy. Wow, that's big time. Looks pretty nice. All right, I'm gonna set up and eat.